Okay, y'all. We're back with another part to the Chris Watts case, okay? We're going to dive a little more into Nicole Kessinger, okay? The mistress. Now, she gets called in, and like I was saying, she's got her daddy there. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to adjust y'all. Okay. So, she's got her daddy there, okay? Her dad is, sitting there. He's pretty quiet for most of the investigation, okay? So, now, what bothers me about the whole thing is that he's allowed in the interrogation room in the first place, okay? Never should have happened. Never should have happened, okay? But he was there nonetheless. Okay, so she's got her daddy there, the investigator. I think it was Coder. Detective Coder was the one that was interrogating her, supposedly. Or actually, she was called in as their star witness. What did she witness, first of all, okay? We'll start there. I don't know what she witnessed, because anything that you ask her, like any of the important questions, da 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 da, ABC, whatever they ask, she didn't know anything. She didn't remember anything. She went as far as to telling them that, well, I mean, I can tell you, certain things up to a closer date, but if we're going to be like exact saying exact this, exact that, it's not going to happen. Hold up, wait a minute, first of all. She started off the interview bad by telling the investigator, detective, whatever he was, that that's not going to happen. Okay, fine. So they move on. He's talking to her. She's going into, I don't remember this. I don't remember that. I can't tell you this. I can't tell you that. She supposedly didn't know Shanann's name. She probably knew Shanann's name from the beginning, because if you look back a year before she was even supposedly knowing Chris, she was searching for Shanann. She was searching for Shanann and Chris. Well, they get up to a part in the interrogation where she says, well, if I would have known that he had a wife that was 15 weeks pregnant, I would have never been involved with him in the first place. I would have told him that he's a liar, he's just trying to get in my pants, and I'm not going for that. So, Detective Coder proceeds to ask her, well, if you would have not known about the baby, or if you would have known about the baby, you would have not had no dealings with Chris in the beginning. So let's say that Chris decides to get rid of his wife, and that's where the dad steps in and says, no, stop right there. Nick, no. Don't answer no questions. You're leading. Da 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 da. Detective Coder eventually gets to ask his question. So if he would have killed her, and that would have been his motive to kill her because you knew that she was 15 weeks pregnant, you would have had no dealings with him, correct? She says no. Blah, 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 whatever. They go on about their investigation. So, she's sitting there, and he's still trying to ask her about this 2-hour conversation that her and Chris had the night that Shanann came home from her business trip. The night that she died. Well, unalived, I'm sorry. The night that they unalived her. Because I believe that she was there. I believe that she was hands-on. I believe that she was in the home when Shanann got home. The neighbor even said that she saw the truck there. So I honestly, wholeheartedly believe that Nicole Kessinger was there the entire time, and she was waiting on Shanann to get home as well, because the truck was seen parked outside of the Watts house. Her phone pinged in Frederick, Colorado. Her phone never pinged in Frederick, Colorado, other than the times that she said she was at the house, that she admitted to already being at the house. Why Shanann was in North Carolina with her family. So, I believe that Nicole Kessinger was wholeheartedly involved. I believe that she was hands-on. And when Chris's cellmate said that he was told by Chris himself that Nicole unalived the children because Chris couldn't do it, I believe that wholeheartedly. Because when Detective Coder asked her, have you ever met his kids? She said, no, I didn't want to. And no, he never asked me to. And then she tried to sweeten it up because her tone immediately changed from, well, no, I didn't want to. And no, he never asked me to. Well, I mean, it's not right for children to be introduced to somebody new in their lives that early on, and so on and so forth, okay? She immediately had an attitude when she was asked that. She did not care about them girls. She did not want them girls around. As she told Chris herself, I want to mother your first son. Shanann was pregnant with his first son, baby Nico Lee, because Nico is a part of this. Nico was very much a little person. She was 15 weeks pregnant, okay? Baby Nico was absolutely another life. And I am glad that when Chris Watts was sentenced, he was also sentenced on behalf of baby Nico as well. He deserved that, because if he is the one that killed Shanann, and the only one that killed Shanann, then he also killed baby Nico. So, I am so glad that baby Nico got justice in this case. I will say that up front and foremost. I'm so glad. Because everybody's like, you know, she was 15 weeks. She was 15 weeks or not. That baby was another living life. Okay? At 15 weeks, that baby had hands, that baby had feet, that baby had a heartbeat, that baby had a body. No, absolutely, he was a little human. And he did not deserve this. He never even got to take his first breath on this earth. And he would be 7 years old right now. 7 years old, baby Nico would be. He never got to spend even one day outside of his mother as a little human. And if Nikki had any part in it, Nicole Kessinger, that's just more lives that she had to take. And I believe that Nicole Kessinger needs to be brought in and re-questioned and reinvestigated, and she needs to spend her time in prison, just as well as Chris Watts is sitting in prison as well. I kind of agree with the Ruseks when it comes to the death penalty, but I kind of wish that the judge would have ruled over that and kind of went for it anyway, even though he's going to sit on death row for, you know, probably 20 years. Regardless, it's the fact of making him sit there every day thinking that that may be his last. Because that's what he did to Shanann and them babies, and I almost believe that's what he deserves. But come back. We're going to talk about the case some more. We're going to dig a little deeper. Thank you. Till next time.